All right, welcome to another deep dive, everybody.
This week, we're going deep, deep into the world of AI news.
That's right, we've been digging through Discord threads, Reddit posts, and some really fascinating AI newsletters.
And as always, we're trying to bring you the most interesting insights.
The stuff that's going to make you think, huh, I didn't know that.
Things that make you go, wow, I didn't realize AI could do that.
Yeah, and one of the things that really got us talking this week was this whole debate about open source and what it even means in the age of these massive AI models.
Oh, absolutely. This was especially heated over on the Eleuther AI Discord.
Yeah, and it seems like the fundamental question everyone's asking is like, can these models really be considered open source if we don't know everything about how they were made?
Right, and one of the most interesting arguments we saw was this whole idea of open weights versus open models.
Can you break that down for us? What's the difference?
Sure. So think of it like this. You've got a recipe, right? And the ingredients list is public. Everyone can see it. But the actual instructions, the steps you need to follow to make the dish, those are kept secret.
Interesting.
You might be able to guess what the final dish will taste like based on the ingredients, but you can't replicate it exactly without knowing the full recipe.
So in the world of AI, open weights are kind of like having that public ingredients list.
Right, you can see the data the model was trained on, but you don't necessarily know how it was trained.
And open models would be like having the whole shebang, ingredients, instructions, the works.
Exactly. And that's where the debate gets really heated because
Right.
some folks are saying, look, if we don't know how these models were made, if the training process is shrouded in secrecy, can they really be considered open source?
Yeah, it's like having a magic black box that spits out amazing results, but you have no idea what's going on inside.
And that can have some pretty big implications, especially when you think about things like bias and fairness.
Yeah, how can we be sure that these models are treating everyone fairly if we don't know how they were trained?
Right, if the data they were trained on is biased, the model itself could be biased too.
And that can perpetuate harmful stereotypes and discrimination, especially if these models are being used to make important decisions.
Exactly. So this whole open source question is about a lot more than just code.
Yeah.
It's about transparency, ethics, and making sure that AI benefits everyone.
Absolutely. Okay, so speaking of resources and challenges, let's talk about something that's been generating a lot of buzz, the energy consumption of these giant AI models.
Yes, the elephant in the server room.
I was reading this Hugging Face blog post the other day about tech companies turning to nuclear power to fuel their AI ambitions.
Yeah, and the reaction on Discord has been pretty wild. Some folks are like, this is straight out of a cyberpunk novel.
Others are genuinely worried about the environmental impact.
And then you've got people joking that we're all going to be living in a world powered by AI-driven nuclear reactors.
I mean, it does make you wonder, are we headed for an AI-powered energy crisis?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the environmental cost, but also the financial one.
Right, like I saw a bunch of Grok 2 users complaining about the recent price hike.
Up to $15 a month now,
Oof, that's a steep increase.
especially considering they've been having all those downtime issues lately.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating. It makes you wonder, are these rising costs sustainable in the long run?
It's a tough balancing act. On the one hand, you've got these incredibly powerful AI models that are doing amazing things, but on the other hand, there's the cost, both in terms of resources, A&D money.
It's a reminder that even in the world of cutting-edge tech, we still have to deal with real-world limitations.
Right. The laws of physics and economics still apply.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about something a bit more upbeat, the rise of multimodal models.
Now, this is where things get really interesting.
These are models that can understand and generate different types of data, not just text, but also images, speech, even music.
It's like AI is finally learning to speak our language, literally.
This week saw the launch of two big players in the multimodal space, Janus by DeepSeek and Spirit LM by Meta.
And over on the Latent Space Discord, everyone was comparing them to lava.
Yeah, a lot of debate about which one is better at understanding images and videos.
What's so cool about these models is that they're not just recognizing objects in an image, they're actually understanding the context, the relationships between those objects.
So it's not just, oh, there's a cat, it's the cat is chasing a mouse up a tree.
Exactly. And that opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
Imagine being able to generate photorealistic images from a text description or translate speech directly into sign language.
We're not quite there yet, But these multimodal models are a huge step in that direction.
It's like AI is finally starting to bridge the gap between different modes of communication.
And that's a really exciting development.
It is, but with so many new models popping up all the time, it can be hard to keep track of which ones are actually performing the best.
Right, it's like the AI model Hunger Games out there.
I was checking out the Perplexity Discord the other day, and everyone was comparing Claude 3.5 Sonnet, GPT-4o, and a bunch of others.
And it seems like the best model really depends on what you're trying to do.
If you need a model that's great at writing creative content, that's one thing. But if you need one that's really good at summarizing factual information, that's a whole other ball game.
Exactly. It all comes down to your specific needs and goals.
Which is why it's so important to stay informed and know what's out there.
Absolutely. Speaking of bold claims, did you see Microsoft's announcement about running 100 billion parameter models on local devices?
Yeah, that caught my eye. 6 times faster, they said, and using 82% lower energy.
Sounds almost too good to be true, right?
Well, that's what a lot of folks over on the LAON Discord are saying.
Some people are pointing out that there aren't even any 100 billion parameter models that use BitNet yet.
Which is the technology Microsoft claims to be using.
So yeah, there's definitely some skepticism.
It's like they announced the solution before anyone even knew there was a problem.
But hey, gotta give them props for thinking big.
All right, last but not least, let's talk about something that's both super creative and a little bit unsettling, using AI to create podcasts.
You're not kidding. The Notebook LM Discord has been blowing up with this.
Wait, people are actually using AI to make podcasts now, like full episodes.
Full episodes and then some. One person claimed to have generated like 500 episodes using AI.
500 episodes.
Yep. Some folks are pulling content from academic papers. Others are using AI to stitch together narratives from, get this, Discord and Reddit comments.
Whoa, that's kind of wild. And a little bit meta, don't you think?
Totally. It makes you wonder, are we all just one prompt away from becoming podcasting superstars?
Or maybe just one prompt away from complete AI-generated media overload.
Either way, the lines between human and machine creativity are definitely getting blurrier by the day.
It's a fascinating and slightly terrifying time to be alive.
That it is.
All right, well, that's a wrap on part 1 of our deep dive into this week's AI news.
We've covered a lot of ground, from open source dilemmas to AI-powered podcasts.
And we're just getting started.
Stick around for part 2, where we'll be exploring even more fascinating developments in the world of artificial intelligence.
We'll be right back after a short break.
See you soon. And we're back for part 2 of our deep dive into all things AI.
Buckle up, because we're about to go even deeper down the rabbit hole.
Speaking of rabbit holes, let's talk about Notebook LM.
Oh, yeah. This tool has been generating a ton of buzz.
The Notebook LM Discord is basically on fire,
Yeah.
with people sharing all the amazing things they're doing with it.
It seems like Notebook LM is being used for, like, everything.
From academic research to writing code to even, get this, creating podcasts from random internet comments.
I know we already talked about that, but I can't get over it. It's like AI is becoming this ultimate content creation machine.
Totally. And it's not just about replacing human creativity. It's more about augmenting it.
Right. It's like having an AI partner in crime who can help you brainstorm ideas, generate different versions of your work.
And push you to think outside the box.
Exactly. But of course, with all this AI-powered creation, we have to talk about the ethical implications.
Of course, like who owns the copyright for AI-generated content?
And how do we ensure that AI is being used responsibly and not to spread misinformation or harmful stereotypes?
Those are big questions, and they're only going to become more important as AI gets more powerful and accessible.
All right, so on a lighter note, let's talk about some of the AI bugs that have been making the rounds.
Oh yeah, even the smartest AI can sometimes trip and fall.
The axolotl layer freezing bug has been causing quite a stir.
And of course, who could forget Ader's hilarious Hello World insertion habit?
It's like AI is learning to code by trial and error, just like the rest of us.
But sometimes those errors can be pretty entertaining.
Definitely. Okay, so shifting gears a bit, let's talk about some of the exciting breakthroughs that have been happening.
Like Microsoft's release of bitnet.cpp.
Yeah, that's a big one. Their new framework for running large language models on CPUs.
It's supposed to be much faster A&D, more energy efficient.
Which is great news, especially for folks who don't have access to super powerful GPUs.
Democratizing AI, one CPU at a time.
I love that. Speaking of democratization, I heard that Now's Research released a new language model called Hermes 3.
And it's available for free on their website.
That's amazing. Free access to a powerful AI model like that. Could really open up the field to a whole new generation of researchers and developers.
Absolutely. It's exciting to see more and more tools becoming available to everyone, not just the big tech companies.
Okay, so let's talk about AI in education. This is an area that's really starting to heat up.
Oh yeah, the NotebookLM Discord has been buzzing with this.
People are sharing all sorts of creative ways you're using NotebookLM to personalize the learning experience.
Like creating customized study guides, interactive quizzes, even AI-powered flashcards.
It's like having a personal tutor who knows exactly how you learn best.
And who never gets tired of answering your questions.
That's the best part. It's amazing to see how AI is being used to make learning more engaging and effective.
And hopefully more accessible to everyone.
Okay, so before we move on, I want to touch on something that really highlights the power of AI to make a positive impact.
You're talking about the user on the Axolotl Discord, who's developing an AI-powered assistive device for people with visual impairments.
That's the one. It's a fantastic example of how AI can be used to empower people and improve lives.
This developer is using computer vision and natural language processing to create a device that can help people navigate the world around them.
It's like having an AI guide dog that can describe what it sees and help you get where you need to go.
It's truly amazing what people are doing with AI these days.
It really is. And that brings us to the end of part 2.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll wrap up our deep dive with even more insights into the ever-evolving world of AI.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show, folks. We're wrapping up our AI news deep dive, and for this last part, we're going to be shifting our focus to how AI is tackling some real-world issues.
That's right. We've talked a lot about the potential downsides of AI bias, privacy, job displacement. But there are also a lot of people out there using this technology to do some really amazing things.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Well, one project that caught my eye is this thing called Hotpot QA. It's being developed over on the DSPy Discord.
And what is it? What's the big idea?
It's a system for generating alternate historical scenarios, but with a focus on accuracy and fairness.
So instead of just rewriting history to fit a certain narrative, it tries to stay true to the facts.
Exactly. It's about exploring what-if scenarios while still grounding those scenarios in actual historical events.
I like that. It's like responsible counterfactual history.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really interesting way to think about how AI can be used to challenge our assumptions about the past and maybe even help us understand it better.
That's pretty cool. What else is on your radar?
Over on LangChain AI Discord, there's been a lot of talk about role-based RAG models.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm drawing blank here. RAG, what does that stand for again?
A RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. It basically means using AI to pull relevant information from a large database and then use that information to generate a response.
Okay, that rings a bell. And the role-based part.
Well, imagine a company using an AI system to access sensitive financial data.
Okay, yeah.
They could use a role-based ARG model to ensure that only certain employees have access to certain types of information.
So, like, the CEO can see everything, but the marketing intern can only see the marketing budget.
Exactly. It's all about using AI to enhance data security and privacy.
That makes sense. So we've got AI generating alternate histories, protecting confidential information. What other real-world problems is this tech being used to solve?
Well, remember that user on the Axolotl Discord who's developing an AI-powered assistive device for people with visual impairments.
Oh, yeah, that was a really inspiring story.
That project is coming along nicely. They're using computer vision and natural language processing to create a device that can help people navigate their surroundings.
It's like having a personal AI guide dog. That's incredible.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's a great example of how AI can be used to empower people and improve lives.
Definitely. You know, it's easy to get caught up in all the hype and the potential downsides of AI, but it's stories like this that remind me of why this technology is so important.
Absolutely. It's about using our ingenuity to solve real problems and make the world a better place.
And sometimes it's about using AI to generate 500 episodes of a podcast from random internet comments.
Hey, you never know where inspiration will strike.
True that. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into this week's AI news.
We've covered a lot of ground.
From open source dilemmas to multimodal models to AI-powered historical simulations, it's been quite a ride.
It really has. But the AI world never stands still, so who knows what amazing breakthroughs we'll be talking about next week.
That's right. So until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and keep asking questions, because that's how we make sense of this incredible and ever-evolving world of AI.
And that's how we ensure that AI is used to benefit everyone. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll see you next time.